GCC. This is a density video for Chem 130. So we're going to talk about density. You can think of density as the amount of atoms and how tightly packed they are in a given volume. So something that's very dense has the atoms packed really tight together, and something that's not dense may have a lot of space between the atoms. So the three states of matter, which one's the most dense? Yeah, solids are the most dense. Which is the least dense? And you're correct if you said gases, because there's lots of empty space between the molecules in a gas. But we're going to work on some math formulas. Does anyone know what the formula is for density? You are correct if you said density equals mass over volume. So a silly way to remember this is to draw a heart with a line through it, because then you have your mass over your volume. I know that's silly. What are the units? Mass is usually in grams, you're correct, and volume is in milliliters. So that's our units, grams per milliliter. There are basically two types of density problems. One is to calculate density itself. So that's pretty easy. All you have to do is divide mass by volume. The second one is to calculate mass or volume, and you are given the density. That's a little bit harder problem, and we're going to do an example of each right now. What is the density of a metal if the mass is 24.862 grams and it is 3.72 milliliters? What is the density? So what are we trying to find here? Yeah, we're trying to find the density. So density is mass over volume. Okay, great. Let's plug in which number is the mass. Well, it's the one with grams. 24.862 grams. And volume is which number? The milliliters. So 3.72 milliliters. So we've got our mass over our volume. Let's grab our calculator. So 24.862 divided by 3.72 equals, we get a big long number. How many sig figs? Top number has 5. Bottom number has 3. Which do we go with? Yes, the least. So it's going to be 6.68. 6.68, and the unit is grams over milliliters because nothing canceled out. So final answer, 6.68 grams per milliliter is the density. All I had to do is mass over volume. That was pretty easy. So not real worried about type 1 density problems where we calculate the density. Good job. All right, so let's try this problem. If a metal has a density of 11.24 grams per milliliter, what is the volume for 42.63 grams? Are we calculating density? No, density is actually given to us. We know the density. What are we calculating? Volume. We want the volume. So, what do we do here with this one? There's two ways to solve. If you are super good at algebra, you may plug into your equation and solve. But for those who are not so good at algebra, we're going to do this the conversion way. 11.24 grams per milliliter can be a conversion factor. So density is a conversion factor. So we're going to work this like it's a conversion. Do we start with the conversion factor? Like, do we start with 12 inches in a foot? Do we start with 3 feet in a yard? No, we never start with the conversion factor. So we're not going to start with this number. We're going to start with the mass. So 42.63 grams is the number we're going to start with. That's our given. Density is a conversion factor. Never, ever start with the conversion factor. So we're going to start with our mass. Conversion factors, like always, go here in parentheses with a line through it. Now we have 11.24 grams over a milliliter. 1 milliliter to be exact. Now grams is what we're starting with. So what do we want on the bottom? We actually want grams on the bottom. How many grams are there in the density? There's 11.24. So 11.24 grams is actually going to be on the bottom. What's on top? Yeah, the milliliter is on top. And when we say grams per milliliter, that does mean one milliliter. So we're basically writing the density upside down, and that's okay, because 1 milliliter of the metal contains 11.24 grams, because that's what the density tells us. So this is okay, and my grams can cancel, and I'm left with milliliters. So we're ready for our calculator. We've got, let's see, 42.63, and then times 1 doesn't change anything, and then divided by 11.24 equals, how many sig figs? Let's look. This number, the mass has 4, the density also has 4. This 1 is an exact number. That doesn't count. So we have 4 and 4, so we need 4. That is 3.79. That 2 is going to round up to a 3 because of the 7 next to it. So 3.793, 3.793 milliliters. Final answer with 4 sig figs. All right, good job. So that was a type 2 density problem where we actually solved for volume. Let's check our unit. Milliliters, is that a volume? Milliliters? Yes, it is. Okay, good. So yeah, we checked. Our unit makes sense for volume. Grams canceled. Life is good. Good luck with your density problems.